Hola! Soy Dora! How you guys doing? Good afternoon, good Friday. What's going on? We're gonna hop on here since it's pretty exciting today. I bet you a couple people are freaking out. What's going on? It's dumping. I was this much in profit and now I'm only this much in profit. Oh, you're still in profit. Okay. I don't know why you're crying. All right. Let's go ahead and hop over. I didn't set up the camera. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Let me see what it looks like. Okay, looks decent. Let me zoom in a little bit and then we'll get going. Why's my zoom not working? I don't know why none of my buttons are working right now, so we'll just go with this. Let me go ahead and pull this over to the side. Maximize the screen. Got a little bit of time today. I'm waiting on my car to get fixed. Like I said, I had to take it in to get my my rim reshaped back to what it originally was. Besides that, after that's done, pretty much I'm good to go. And I saw your message, Royal. I saw your message. All right, I looked it up. When we were on stream, I Googled it and it had that little infograph, told us that it was front wheel drive. You're correct. 100% rear wheel drive, which makes the people at Valvoline and Jiffy Lube look even more stupid because they both told me that it was front wheel drive as well. So I don't know. But I'm 100% positive at this point that it is rear wheel drive. God, you can't say that too many times fast. You just sound like an idiot. But hello, how you doing, guys? Duper, what's going on? DMS, Yash, what's going on? Brath. I don't want to say your name and butcher it, but hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? Africa, Joe Brown. I was tired. Well, too bad. You gotta wake up. Market's popping. It's time to go. Not really. There's not much to do unless you lost your entry on something. We'll take a look at some of the other coins real quick. Let me turn on my monitor brightness right quick. There we go. Oh, I can see it. All right. So, starting off with BTC. BTC, unless you got the lower entry from here, which I doubt a lot of people did just because it happened so quickly. You probably lost your entry over the last couple of minutes, but we're still kind of sitting around that level. So for me, if I get back above 55,100, I'll be re-entering Bitcoin. Like I said, I'm not too worried about Bitcoin because my sushi is still active, have not been stopped out. And out of the 4% risk between the two trades, BTC and sushi, BTC is like 25% of what I'm risking. So I'm not too worried about BTC if anything does happen. I'm obviously worried about sushi, but we're still kind of chilling. Ethereum still sitting well above its previous ABC correction. And what I believe to be happening right now, as long as we don't put any more lower lows in, this is kind of what I would assume to be as a 1-2. You know, obviously with the 1-2 structure, we should be looking for around the 0.382, and we're kind of past that right now, which isn't a big deal. Definitely not at all, but it was to be expected. And you can see even coming off of this, we had a ABC top to the upside. We had 1-2. So you could even have gotten an entry off of that, or if you wanted to play the larger one right here, you had that ABC. Up for a little bit of a retest, got rejected, now we're falling back down. And you can see, so we have an ABC to the upside, and then coming off of that, we have an ABC to the downside. So at the moment, 2 levels that we need to get back above. Obviously, we need to get back above, 55, 100. But really this area in particular, 55,829. That's the level once we get back above. That would be a completed 1-2 structure if you're looking for more of an Elliott wave type ordeal. And we can start moving to the upside. After that, the target would be about 63K for the top of the 3. And we can continue moving on. Not really into that anymore. It's, gives people false misconceptions of where we're going to go. But, hey, it's something to look forward to. Fish is being extra baby today. Just because I've had to go out of the house for a little bit. So he's begging for attention. But while we wait on that, let's go ahead and check out some of the other coins. Some of the other coins we looked at, we've been looking at, obviously, sushi. Sushi really hasn't changed. We're still sitting above the last ABC. Now, don't deny, this could be the larger downtrend breaking into a momentary uptrend, and we do go put in a lower low. If it happens, it happens. So be it. All right. I'm down to catch whatever entry is going to be that bottom. All right. I got to stop fish real quick. Hey. No. Relax. Throwing her temper tantrum, man. Like a damn baby. All right. KDA. KDA is still sitting below the entry point that we really needed. You can see once we got back above it the other day, nice little bit of upside off of it, but still came back down to retest. So what I'll be looking for on KDA, if you are playing that, I'm not personally, so don't think I have any personal stake in this. I'm just calling it as I see it. As of right now, if we get back above, 1584, that's the level to be looking forward to. Unless we go down and we put in a lower low than 1474. If that happens, which did it happen already? Yes, it did, but not by a whole lot. That could have technically been an entry, but I doubt a lot of people grab that. But if we do put in a lower low than that, you can use this as an entry and then continue on to the upside. I know somebody in the Discord group was making me look at VET the other day, so I'll take a look at it just for the sake of it. And I can tell the person who asked this question was a little bit skittish, It happens from time to time when you start playing a certain way. Obviously, people go, well, it's dumping on BTC and I'm in this altcoin. I'm so scared. But once again, we covered it in the video yesterday. I told them make a checklist. 1, is your setup valid? Is it still active? Okay. 2, are you using good risk that you're comfortable losing? AKA, 2% and below. And then 3, if everything checks out, sit on your thumbs. There's nothing to do. You can't stop the price action from falling, and you can't make it pump. All you can do is wait. So if you're not cool with getting stopped out, you're definitely not cool with winning. All right. So VET, I believe, is still hanging above his entry. I believe he entered off of this ABC right here. Definitely a good entry. It was a good pickup entry. You can see right here, you have the larger structure. You have an A and a B, and then you have the larger C. And then he used the small time frame ABC on the C wave. Perfect entry. All right. Fantastic. I applaud it. Definitely, a little bit thin of price action, but hey, to each his own. If he's comfortable with playing that, he did it correctly. And so far, so good. We can see that on VET. We had an ABC top right here. And then we had a little bit of a retest. And then we came back down below that level. And so far, we've retraced back down to the 0.382, 0.441 level, and we're kind of chilling around there. We're still well above his entry. And if he does get stopped out, what I'd be looking forward to is either one, is it a retest of that entry, or are they going to put in a lower low than $10.04? Well, not $10.04, 10 cents, 10.4 cents, my bad. So used to talking about the other coins. But you can see as well, coming off of that, we have an A, we have a B, we have a C. So, I mean, all as well as good. I mean, if everything does turn around here, that's pretty solid setup. And I mean, you have, if you want to take it from an Elliott wave perspective, you have kind of a 1-2 setup going on here. Looking for about 14 cents as the next stretch. If you want, this is how you would project it out if you wanted to do that. Like I said, I don't really condone this anymore. I don't like to look at price action this way because I think, people get a little bit too ahead of themselves with it. But from just a simple Elliott wave projection, we can see, the next place that we're going to really see a gigantic pullback is about 16 cents. Now, on these altcoins, they can definitely run a lot further than that. But that's what Elliott Wave's calling for. And then there's not really much else to talk about. Obviously, there's a lot of coins on here, but in terms of what we look to, we look at daily, not a whole lot going on. Litecoin is still above 2 of its ABC entries. Love to see it. And we were hanging above the larger structure for quite a while, but looks like we came back down below it. Once we get back above 199.58, that's going to be the best thing for Litecoin. Just because that's where the larger structure ABC really wants to hold. And then take a look at XRP. XRP had a beautiful setup. Definitely a beautiful setup. We had the A to the downside, B to the upside, C to the downside. You would have gotten wicked out once right here, but then just re-entered once it came back above. And at that peak right there, that's about 14%. Not too shabby. And we're still well above the entry. So at the moment, it looks like Ethereum and XRP definitely are in the best positions to be in terms of you're pretty far away from your entry. So you're kind of sitting pretty, not really worrying about much. Obviously, BTC's already gotten stopped out. And Sushi is close, but not yet. Congrats on your NTAS, National Technical Analysis Society. Is that even a real thing? EOS and Aave. I'll take a look at those. EOS looks very, very similar to BTC at the moment. In terms of you have an A, and then you have an ABC flat right here, and then you have your C. And then off of that C wave, you got an ABC. And then off of the C wave, you have an ABC. So you have 2 entry points on EOS. You have here and here. Still hanging above them, but definitely very close. And then you said Aave. Aave, still hanging above its entry. You can see that right there. ABC. That's very, I love that. You see how on the C wave, you see how it's using the previous A as that little bounce right there? That's pretty cool. Like that. You still think Sushi's market cap will eventually compare to Uniswap? I would like to think so, but at this point, I can't really bet on that. If it was going to get up to where Uniswap was currently at the height of the bull market back in May, Sushi could have easily been like $100. Depending on, like, I'm not saying that December 17th has to be the top of the market, but historically it has been. If we do run into January, maybe February, if, that's, how far the uptrend takes us, maybe, but I highly doubt at this point. I could still bet on maybe $30-$40 for sushi. That might not be bad. But that $100 to $142 region that I was originally targeting at this point in the bull market, no. If it hasn't done it already, I don't think so. Hey. Thought 55K was going to hold, but now I'm questioning it. We'll see. We don't really know. If we don't, get back above 55,100 soon, we're definitely going to be dropping down to the, 53K region. Probably to retest that level. Hey. What's the point? What's the point in having a cone if he just bypasses the cone? Hey. Stop, buddy. Do you see us rolling over from here or feel confident we're going to get a good pump? I'm still bullish. I mean, it's as simple as an if this and that statement. Obviously, me as a person, I'm bullish. I think the next couple of weeks in December are going to be extremely bullish. It's just we're working out this bottom. But from a technical analysis standpoint, there is no opinion. I don't really care if we go up. I don't care if I get stopped out. It's an if this and that statement. If we are above this level, 55,100, I'm confident that's going up. With us being below it temporarily, the odds to the downside have exponentially increased. But for, Ethereum, sushi, Litecoin, pretty much every single other thing in the market, with us being this far above our completed ABC, it's still well in the cards. All right. You have got to stop. You are making it worse. You're making it worse. My dude has eaten his tail until it's raw. If I even poke it, he yelps. I got to go back to the store, find a new cone that prohibits him from even getting close. Also, my friend suggested to me I got to get one of those like security thingies, like a thunder jacket, because they're very rigid, to make it so that he can't twist to eat his tail. So if we passed 53,338, then you would use that as the new bottom. Yeah, that would be my new A. So if this was to cut into something like this would look like an ABCA, and then we have right here, we have ABCB, and then we'd have some sort of ABCC like that. Just part of the process. Sometimes stuff doesn't work out the way we want it to the first time. Sometimes it does perfectly. For you personally, when do you take profit on the 0.441 and when do you let your profits run? Um, it's subjective. So like this is the most common thing that people talk about. I saw a couple comments on the recent tutorial that I did where they were like, you know, taking profit there doesn't mean anything. Well, no shit, it doesn't mean anything. Right? Taking profits doesn't have to be this perfect thing where you're calling the top, you're calling the bottom. If you think taking profits is that, you're not going to do well in this market. But having just some arbitrary point to take profits at, as long as it's within that range of where you started from and where you're ended, what's the harm in taking profits at the 0.441 or 0.5 or 0.618? Doesn't matter, just choose one. All right, having a profit point is very, very important. But for me, like, given the fact that I do think that we're going to go back up and break a new all-time high and try to end somewhere around $70,000 to $100,000, I do think that taking advantage of the ABC bottoms and just holding on to them to see how far this can go, that's where I'm getting the whole, get into a trade and let it run. There's plenty of ways to do it. All right, you can take 50% of your profits at the 0.441, let the rest ride. It's up to you. There is no perfect way of doing this. And just because I do it one way doesn't mean you have to do it the other way. No one ever went broke taking profits. Trader Tom and also a little bit of me, I don't use it in that exact phrase, but Trader Tom says that phrase is absolutely bullshit. Because, I mean, you have people that, for me, the 0.441 is quite a ways away from wherever my setup is. So the 0.441 could be like a 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 restored ratio trade. But some people will get into the same exact trade and get too scared and take profits at a 3 restored ratio. All right, so in that case, yes, you're going to go broke. All right, if your win ratio and your restored ratio average is not balancing out, you're going to go broke taking profits. What do you advise the 15-minute ABC as a new entry on Sushi? I won't advise anything. I'll take a look at it. Like I said, not financial advice. But is this an ABC setup? It's not the most powerful. Not in the slightest. Reason being is there's no higher highs. All right, like right here, for example, this is all lower lows, which can be said the same as this right here. All right, you can see right here, these are all lower lows. There's no break of the downtrend within this. So it's definitely a scary time. So that's why I'm saying that definitely this could be all one single A that broke into a B that's breaking into a lower C. And I'm absolutely fine with that. But right here, for example, this is just too small of a time frame with no definitive breakup trend. All right, look at the difference between this one. You can see very clear downtrend, very clear uptrend, very clear downtrend. This one, you can't really see that. You can make an argument either here or, make an argument here. But for the most part, no. You can't really say definitively that that's a break of trend. And this wasn't an ABC right here. This right here is not an ABC. You can see we put in a higher high here. All right, so this was an ABC top. This is not an ABC to the downside. All right, so if my C ended here, this is where my new A would begin. So if it is going to do anything, it would probably look something like that. Did you watch Money Heist? I loved it. And like I watched it and I got like a familiar feeling about it. And then it didn't click in my head because I saw the zombie movie where they go to Vegas and they empty the vault and all that stuff. And it was like, a couple months or a year before, after that I saw Money Heist. So it didn't click in my head that the two were correlated until the very, very end. I was like, why does this movie keep talking about zombies? I was like, is this like a hallucination of his? It was very weird for me to go through that experience, but then I went back and watched like the actual first movie and, had a good time. Made me feel more connected to the character. I'm so sad that he died in the second one. I'm hoping that because they didn't show him dying, I'm hoping he's still alive somehow because I like that dude as a character. He's pretty cool. Very interesting concept. Do you build your positions like Trader Tom? No, but I do plan like in the future to do things differently. So with the bull market, I had a couple of open positions that I kind of rode throughout the entire bull market. But one thing that I would like to do next time, or just, in general, so like with the bear market, I'm going to have, a funding short, and I'm going to have particular points to add to that funding short. So let's say, for example, over here, one thing that I would like to do next time is instead of having a open position for pretty much the entirety of the bull run, I would like to do it like this. So let's say this is my first ABC that I see. This was right before he broke the 20K top. All right. With this, this would be my opening position of the bull market. I have a long, I hold on to it. All right, I hold on to this long for the entire time. All right, then we come up and we have another ABC pullback. All right, and then instead of closing that long somewhere within this uptrend, I'll be just holding on to it, and then I will add to that position right here, hold on to it. And then we come back up. We have an ABC right here. I'll add to that position instead of cutting my profits or anything like that. Hold on to it. Add to that position again. And then once we start getting to a stage like this where we have built up a couple different tops, we have a top here, we have a top here, and we have a top here. These can be used as kind of a exiting position. So obviously, what is the antithesis to an ABC bottom? It's an ABC top. So if we have, this right here, we have A, B, C, and then we have A, B, C right here. I'll exit, 25% of my profit here. And then I'll exit 25% here, and then so on and so on. I'll find out some way to do it appropriately and kind of play it by ear, but that's kind of how I want to do it in the future, instead of, just exiting and entering. Because I do agree with that premise that winning traders add to their positions, and they also cut their losses short. And so far, so good on that one side of that. So I'm very good at creating an if this and that statement. I know exactly where I want to be in the market, and I know exactly where I want to get out. As much as people might criticize, ABCs or whatever, and say, oh, blah, 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 you're just drawing stuff out of thin air. You look how you have to change your mind as stuff goes on. That's how stuff works. See, if you think that I can predict the future, you're out of your mind. All right. But the one difference is I know exactly what I want from the market. Most of those people don't. They kind of, I think it's going to bottom out here, and then they jump in, and then, they'll let their loss keep going, and they go, I know it's going to turn around here. And then they just get stopped out, liquidated, or, they'll take their profits too soon because they get scared. I know exactly what I want from the market. I know when I want to get in. I know when I want to get out if things go right or wrong. And that's what sets me apart. The only problem is, I do want to become a little bit better in terms of adding to those positions and building them up to be better and better and better and just make more money out of what I'm already doing. And I totally forgot my charger in my car. Such an idiot. I walked out the door this morning and my watch was on like 10%. So I brought my charger with me in the car to charge it. And then when I was halfway down the road, turns out I didn't even bring the watch charger. I just brought a regular iPhone charger. What's your method of tracking trades, wins and losses? For a while, I was using a website called TraderSync, which you have to put in everything manually, but it's not really that big of an issue. And, did a very good job with it. I tracked my statistics for about a month or two and then eventually fell out of the habit. But at the end of it, I had a 22% win rate, which was pretty good. Why don't you use a bot for your if this and then that statements? It'll be much harder to miss entries. That way it will be much harder. I think you mean it'll be much easier to get entries. Oh, much harder to miss entries. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I would love that. All right. I'm working with hopefully David Tech to incorporate that somehow. Obviously, I got to test it out, make sure that the bot is doing things by the book of how I see it and how I think it should be done. And then once it's all said and done, if it's profitable and I see that it works, I'll be more than happy to promote it to you guys. But that's not something I have the capability of doing. I don't know how to code stuff like that. So I would love to have that happen, but it's just not something that I have in my tool set. Are you talking about adding to your position in terms of spot trading or usual? Both. You can add to your positions with leverage trading. And yes, your liquidation will get moved up and everything. But if you're doing it by the book, it really doesn't mess up too much. And it's not like let's say I have my first entry with the 0.5% stop loss. It's not like on the exact next ABC, I'm going to set up a 0.5% stop loss where my previous position will also get stopped out. That's not how that's going to work. It's definitely going to be a different type of methodology than what is currently happening. It's not going to be the exact copy. Kind of like a Matic. Matic's putting in an ABC top here. Why is there why is there no price action on Matic? What? Is that all the price action? No, okay. I was like, there's no way. All right. Matic's putting in an ABC top right here. So I would be careful. Because if everything else is going to go down and put in lower lows, we might be topping out on Matic as well and coming back for a pretty harsh pullback. Oh my God, please. I'm just going to give that a little bar. Just because you have this wick right here, and then you have obviously that low. So I'm just going to put this area as a point of interest rather than just a single line. So in that situation, would you advocate something like a 5% stop loss as you would be in massive profit by then? Yeah, that's fair. Hey Kite, ABCs are only used for correction. Why are you using them in an uptrend? We use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for uptrend and ABC for correction. Yeah, you're right. If you're talking about Elliott wave, I'm using what is called modified Elliott wave. So if you can, read a book, it's called Harmonic Elliott Wave, a case for modification of R and Elliott's impulse wave structure. And like I tell you guys, it's all about trends. All right, so with ABCs, we're looking for 3 trends. All right, what you're typically going to see from a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is you're going to see this. You're going to see a 1, you're going to see a 2, you're going to see a 3, you're going to see a 4, and you're going to see a 5. All right. Now, typically what that 1, 2, 3, 4 looks like, it looks like this. All right. 1, 2, and 3 are in an uptrend. And then 4 will break the uptrend. And then 5 will retest the uptrend. So if you're looking at this, these are 3 separate trends. All right. You have an uptrend that broke into a downtrend that broke into an uptrend. Hence why I simplify it down to just an ABC. All right, look at what we just did on Matic. On Matic, when I identified this on screen, you saw me do this. All right, now, I know what you're saying, you go, I didn't. But when you draw that line, it's all in an uptrend. Yes. All right. But you get the idea of what I'm talking about when I say that. I mean, you could do this a different way as well. You could do this is your A and this is your B and this is your C. And if you want to draw it like that, that's even more of what I just talked about. Uptrend, downtrend, and a retest of the uptrend. All right. You could do it that way as well. But that's why I look for ABC tops. I mean, look at this right here. This one is undeniable. We have a singular uptrend, all right? Full uptrend, broke into a downtrend, broke into an uptrend. If that's not an ABC, don't know what is. And then you would have that ABC top pull back into a pullback, all right? And then right here, 0.441 is usually what I target, but we can see we almost hit that. But more importantly than anything else, the alternative entry would have really given you the signal that, hey, even though it didn't hit the 0.441 or the 0.382, it's probably time to go ahead and hop back into a long. Either 1, take your profits, or 2, hedge your already short position. All right. And that's part of the problem. Someone gave me a super long-winded comment about, what Elliott wave is and what Elliott wave isn't. I know what it is. All right. I used it for quite a period of time, and I was very successful with it. And yes, I would track this count and that count and this count and that count. All well is good. I know that there's multiple different possibilities how something can work out. And it's all about narrowing down what most counts are trying to say, where price action is going to go. I understand that. But for the average person, for me as someone that is not only just trying to trade for myself, but also to teach other people and hopefully pass on some sort of semblance of a usable system, Elliott wave is not what I want to teach to people because it's just too damn complicated for most people. And in cases where you have people that are going, I have to hit the 0.382 or the 0.441, they're not going to pay attention to say, hey, I already have an A, I already have a B, I already have a C. Even though these are technically my targets, because I already have this correction and I'm sitting above this level, I need to be looking at either taking my profits or hedging my position. That's the most important part. All right. But most people get caught up in the targets and the fib extensions and, not looking at multiple accounts. It's so much more complicated than just going with the flow, which is what ABCs are. All right. So, like with BTC, for example, you know, I'm not saying that this is my ABC and this is the one that's going to work out. I'm just saying this is my current ABC. And if it does go happen to put in a lower low and create a new one, that's perfectly fine by me. The people that get caught up on, your first option has to be your answer, those I don't get, all right? Because there's no said way this is going to happen. You have to be willing to accept that, hey, I got a pretty good entry and I was in some fantastic profit to the upside, but the market didn't want to finally bottom out at that, unfortunately. So we might go down and put in a lower low. And what does that do? We get stopped out for a little bit of money, opens up a new possible entry that we might have missed. Because I know for a matter of fact, I missed this entry, and I know for some people they did too. So if we go back down and we open up a new entry off of this level, the people that got an entry from here and were sitting in profit probably will still be grateful that they got that lower entry, even though it kind of sucks. It wasted a day or two of our time. But what are you going to do? You can't stop the price action. You can only work with it. And that's why, I don't see much use in, back in my early days, I would watch the chart. And it's almost like I'm watching the chart as if I have some sort of effect on the chart. I'll be looking at it, using my concentration power to, make it go up. And I feel like some people get caught into that trap where they just stare at the chart all day and they their heart starts beating when it starts getting close to the support that they want to hold. What's the use in that, man? What's the use in going, will it hold or will it not? Because it will or it won't. Just let price action do what it do. The more zen you make trading, the better time you're going to have. Every time you get stopped and it opens up a lower entry point is a new opportunity for even more profit. And it only takes one win to offset 10 losses. So we broke the uptrend of this bull run, and 65K was the retest. What makes you think we can still go up? I mean, we saw this plenty of times in this market over here, where we would break the uptrend, quote unquote, and then, we would have a retest that gets a rejection, and then people say it's the top. But all it did was kind of move us more sideways from that trend line. That's why I don't like using trend lines anymore, guys. They're too finicky. All right. You could go watch the Trader Tom video. He has plenty of examples of where a trend line would be set this way and then would have a breakout and then you would buy it and then it would come back down and then it would create a new trend line. All right. I only use the up and down candles, horizontals. That's where it's at. That's the only thing I can rely on. I can't rely on diagonals. This is coming from a man that used GON fans as his primary indicator of the market. All right. They're not as reliable as you might think. Will you make a tutorial video about how to properly find ABC patterns? Are you joking? Where you been? All right, do me a favor. Click on my YouTube channel and click on videos. All right, you're going to see this video and then right next to it, you got an ABC tutorial. Where you been? I find that drawing ABCs are subjective. Yes, but really not, man. They're really not subjective because ABCs are trends. All right, you're gonna have an uptrend with a high and a low. You're gonna have a downtrend with a high and low, and you're gonna have an uptrend with a high and a low. There's really nothing subjective about pure price action. All right, now you might be misseeing some things or not anticipating things properly, where you can, say it's subjective like that. But for the most part, it's true or false. Is this a break of trend or not? Now, obviously, what classifies a break of a trend? To me, yes, I do eyeball it. But I mean, if you can't clearly see that it is a downtrend that broke into an uptrend, that broke into a downtrend, that put in a lower low, there's something going on. All right. Now, like right here, if you find this subjective, this is just a part of life. There is absolutely nothing that will fix this problem. All right. There's no such thing as a perfect trading system. So right here, all right, we have an A, we have a B, and we have a C. Okay, so we have an A, we have a B, and we have C. And then off of this C wave, we have an A, we have a B, we have a C. Okay, so this would have been my original entry on Ethereum. Now, if we take the top and bottom of all three of these trends, you can see that we hit the 0.382 to 0.441 region pretty much perfectly, and then we went straight back down. So this is where I'm saying, all right, the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to play bottoms and just hold it to the upside. All right, that's my personal choice. But if you were playing it the opposite way, you would have gotten some pretty nice entries, exited, and then gotten another pretty nice entry. All right, I'm just choosing to play it one way or the other. And eventually, if we do bottom out and things go to the upside, it will pay off. If not, so be it. All right. So if I would have just held on to this entry the entire time, I probably would have been stopped out right here or right here. And then, we go up and I'm like, I'm in huge profit now. I'm showing off to everybody. And then it drops back down and creates a new ABC, A, B, C. It's just a part of life. It's going to happen. There's absolutely nothing that will stop that. So you play it one way or the other. It's up to you. Hi, would you recommend other ABC strategy tutorials? No. Like I'm not recommending them. It's just I haven't watched any. I just read A Case for Modification of R and Elliott's Impulse Wave Structure by Ian Copsley. ABC tutorial from yesterday is pure gold, explained in less than 15 minutes. Something every other YouTuber has failed to do. Thank you. I think part of the problem was, I think most of the YouTubers try to put a whole bunch of filler information to make themselves sound smart. Like, with ABCs, you're going to have just pull back to this number and this and that and this and that and this and that. You don't have to make it that complicated, dude. All right, it's an uptrend, it's a downtrend, and it's uptrend. ABC, 1, 2, 3. All right. It's as easy as that. Like I said, there is some nuance to it in terms of like, if you form an A and you form a B, you have to be willing to anticipate the probability that there could be another C coming down, and then wait for that entry. And, we've done that plenty of times throughout this process. On Bitcoin, when we came down here, we talked about it possibly coming back up and then coming back down. We talked about multiple different possibilities. Over here, really good example. All right, we were playing the smaller time frames. We had an A, we had a B, we had a C. We played this entry, And then when we were having a straight uptrend, that wasn't kind of really fleshed out, I go, this could just turn into one gigantic A, this could turn into one gigantic B, and then one gigantic C. And it did that. You have to have enough nuance to just know that that might happen and just expect it. Doesn't mean that it will. I honestly think that if we don't hold above 50K, it's going to go to 30K. Whoa. Pump your brakes. All right. Let's look at the daily chart here. This is broken into levels. All right. So we have local lows. So let's go through the uptrend real quick. All right. So anytime the uptrend breaks into a downtrend, we mark a local low. All right. So these are the local lows of this uptrend. And then this is the downtrend that is versing it. All right. So if we can't hold above 56,000, obviously the likelihood of dropping back down to 50,000 is incredibly, likely. And then if we break 50K, what's next up on the list, right? Right here, we could say 42.3. That could definitely be a number that gets a bounce. But for the most part, we'll just go with the local lows. 39K. All right, so then if 39K doesn't hold, we're going to drop down to 37K. And if 37K doesn't hold, then we will drop down to 30K. All right. You can't just jump the gun and skip multiple levels after you just break 50K, say, for example. Now, if we broke 50K, 51, it's definitely a large drop all the way back down to 39, but not 30. I know that might be what you meant, but like I said, you can't just say stuff like that. You got to back it up with some little TA there. And that's exactly what we did with this over here. All right, so, back when we were in this area, let me make this a little bit larger. We had uptrend that broke into a downtrend. Make it yellow with 3 pixels. So I marked out all the local lows. And this was back when we were at like 55K. All right, so around this region, I talked about us, I talked about the levels, what would happen. And a lot of people were like, we're not going to go back down to 29K. And I go, well, listen, I'm not saying it's going to go back down to 29K. If we break 50K, we're going to drop down to 42, 42, 43. If we break 43K and we stay below it for a decent period of time, we're going to drop down to the next local low. It's as simple as that. That's how the market works. The market just retests previous levels. Now, obviously, if we're in price discovery, that's typically when you're going to see Elliott wave dominate the game in terms of 0.382s and 1.618s, because nobody knows where it's going to go. So people tend to use those a little bit more to kind of time the bottoms and tops. So that's when Elliott wave does work very, very well. When you're trying to Elliott wave versus price action that already exists, it doesn't really work that way. I'm sorry. Dude, I have it at -60. It's not even showing that sound is coming through on this side. All right, but I will disable it. Hopefully that's still, is that disabled? Yeah, it's disabled. Sorry for the spam, but will you be taking the profit of the 0.441? No, my plan for the last couple of weeks has been when I take these ABC bottoms, I'm holding them for the upside. I'm not taking profit at the 0.441. I'm holding on to them. Kick happy. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. There's absolutely no use in talking about ABCs that are developing on the 3-minute chart. All right. Both the BTC trade and the sushi trade, you can easily see on the 15. I'm on a 1080p monitor now, and I can still see it. All right. You don't have to get caught up on these super small time frames. All right. If you're trying to take ABCs that look like this, you are going to have an awful, awful time. I'm not saying that some of those times might work out. You go, see, Austin, it works. But trust me, I've been doing this for a lot of time. And the larger structures that you play, all right, now you can find a larger structure and then use the smaller time frames off of, like, say, the C wave to possibly get a better entry. I totally get that. But that right there is not, that's not it, sir. That's not it. Why are you not playing ETH this time? There's no particular reason. It's not like I hate ETH or something. It's just at the time BTC was shaping up a little bit better, so I took it. I get caught in little habits sometimes where I'll play one coin or another. There's no like definitive reason why I do it. But for right now, for example, right, I can't play Ethereum. All right, Ethereum needs to get all the way back down to 3957. That's the last known entry for BTC. We're so far away from that. And there's no clear ABC on this. All right. There is, but the entry is not good. All right. We have an A, we have a B, we have a C. All right. But the entry is all the way back up here. Kite, do you have a target in mind for sushi and EOS? No, not really. All right. Like I said, I'm not in the business of projecting anymore. All right. The best we can hope for is that it gets back up to the all time high. All right. Anything past that, that's any man's game. I'm waiting for price action to show me where to take profit, aka a larger structure top. All right, with EOS, for example, on the larger time frames, 12-hour, 8-hour, we had an ABC top, right? So I'm waiting for where the market wants us to get out of these trades. I'm not projecting a certain number. All you're doing is getting hype over nothing. Now, obviously, it's fun to, type in $50 into your sushi trade that you just got and see that you're going to make, $50,000 off a $70 risk. All right. But in actuality, you just have to wait and see. All right. I'm not, using Elliott wave and trying to find out, exactly where it's going to top out. It just doesn't work for me like that. All right. In terms of where, like, I would probably hope to see definitively, $10.48. All right. If I can get $10.48, I'm perfectly cool with that. Obviously, not the most profit that I could make, but if we got back up to this, if this is turning into a 1-2 push, we could possibly see it come back up to the $25 range. My stop loss, my stop loss on sushi is 0.75%, and then my stop loss on BTC is 0.5%. I'm already stopped at a BTC. We got to get back above 55,134, but on Bybit, I believe it is a different number. Actually, I can just do this. On Bybit, it is 55,187. Once we get back above that, I can re-enter long. But if not, then we probably will go do something like this. And then we can get an entry from here. Could you tell a possible amount of trades you've done per month? I am not logged into TraderSync. It depends on kind of like what the habit I'm in. Because sometimes I'll take like 2% risk per trade setup and spread it across like 8 different coins. So in that month, I could have done 100 trades. But I would say like, let's just go with like 30 to 50 trades. A trade a day. Doesn't mean that I'm winning 50 trades. Most of those are getting stopped out, but taking 50 trades, yes. Ali G, go onto my channel, all right, and watch this video. All right, it shows you how to make the conditional orders. Watch this video right here. On that, I set up a conditional order, and it talks about a lot more if you haven't seen it yet. All right, I've seen you ask about Hex a couple times. There's a reason I ignore it. I don't like, I just don't like talking about every single altcoin out there. I really don't feel like there's a lot of use. All right, because every single time someone asks me to look at some arbitrary coin, it usually looks the same exact as every single other coin. They just want to hear me talk about their coin, and hopefully I say that it has big boy targets. That's usually what it is. That's usually what it is. When I know well and good that they can see the same exact ABC and they know exactly what I'm going to say every time. All right. Hex. Let's talk about Hex. All right. Obviously, with everything having a pullback, Hex is obviously having one too. All right. And it definitely doesn't look dead in the water. You can see we are still well above where it started. All right. Now, in terms of market structure, I'm not too sure how reliant you can be on this. But like I said before, I'm not saying that if say Hex, for example, isn't really showing any signs of reacting to ABCs, doesn't mean that if there's not an ABC on the chart, you can't really use it. Because like I said, ABCs aren't a price formation that tells you that it's going to go up or down. Most importantly, what an ABC can do for you is make a definitive entry, a definitive stop loss, and a definitive take profit. All right. That's all ABCs really give you an advantage with. And then when you apply good money management and a little bit of luck, and that's all you just need a little bit of luck. That's all. And you make massive profit. That's what I love about them. So, I mean, right here, we can see that this uptrend to downtrend to uptrend was a wonderful ABC top for Hex. So, I mean, it had some sort of ABC. But a lot of these pullbacks, I can see an ABC here. I can see an ABC here. This was like an ABC flat correction right here. And this one looks like it might be an ABC flat correction, but hopefully we go down and put in one more lower low. Not because like I want Hex to go lower. It's not like I have animosity towards Hex. It's just that way, you have a really, really good definitive entry. Other than that, if this was going to turn out to be an ABC flat correction, your only other option, from what I can see, you can see a definitive trend break here. You can see it goes down into a downtrend, up into an uptrend, and then down into a downtrend right here. And we put in a lower low. So that could have been your last known entry on Hex if you were playing ABCs. But I would say, like, obviously, if you didn't get that entry, and this one might be a possibility, obviously you want a lower entry. If you're gonna be holding it to the upside, you want it to go lower. Come on, be a market maker. Be a market maker. All right, I see BTC dumping. I got to maximize my buy bit real quick, because as soon as we put in that lower low, I'm going to set up a conditional order. 53,322. 53,322. Fish, stop. Stop. You're being a baby. Hey, stop. You're being a baby. Don't do that. What's your longest losing streak on this method? Oh, man. August was the biggest hell that I have ever lived in for multiple reasons. All right. I was out of town dealing with a stressful situation. And on top of that, like, I probably got stopped out like 30 times that month. August was a shit show. All right. There was 3 good trades in August. All right. We had, we took this ABC top, milked it for everything it had. I had to, get ready for everything. I didn't catch that bottom, but that would have been a good setup. If I'd catch that, August definitely wouldn't have been that bad of a month. And then we caught either this ABC bottom right here or this one right here. And then I longed it back up, made about $1,000. But all in all, I think for the month of August, I was net negative like 2.5K. And then, you know, because I kept shorting all the ABCs all the way top, and we caught this ABC right here. I set my take profit for 43K, went to bed, and then woke up with $7,000 in my profit. So then that put me net positive 5K very, very early on into September. And then we caught this short, which was an additional $3,000. But by the end of it, I only made about, I want to say $1,200 to $1,400, because the hedge positions that we were longing kept stopping us out. So all in all, net positive 6K by the time we ended September. Right. But August was probably one of the most times I've ever been stopped out. Definitely, definitely a infuriating time. It looks like BTC is actually bouncing off that original entry, which does suck. I would have loved for it to go put in just a little bit lower low. But hey, hate to see it. Hate to see it. We literally touched that entry right here, ABC, and we're getting a little bit of a bounce. We'll see if it goes further down. Is it true that you're Richard Harson? Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. What's your game plan now, Kite? Ain't nothing changed. Waiting to see if we put in a lower low than 53,331. But if not, if it comes back above 55,100-ish, I'll be re-entering my long. I'm not concerned about Bitcoin at all. Like I said, out of the 4% that I'm risking from the account, see, now we got people that want the background music on. Dude, I can only play one song. I only got one full song that's non-copyright on this. I'm so sorry. Like, this is how it's got to be. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we haven't been stopped out on sushi yet. We got pretty close. We got down to like 10%. But we're still pretty decently above that entry. Fish. Stop. My dude is acting up today. Crying, knocking over pillows. Is there any specific reason why you're charting? And I get this question like 1,000 times a day now, and I don't know why. There's no real reason why I'm doing it. All right. Most importantly is a lot of the times when I'm on live stream, I like to talk about price action as a whole. I show examples from 2017's bull market, 2018, 2019's bear market, the previous bull market. I like to talk about all of it. Bybit does not have all of the price action. As well as that, sometimes, very, very rarely, Bitstamp and Coinbase's charts will show lower lows where Bybit does not. And because of that, we might miss entries. All right, that's the only reason. There's not a huge difference between the Bybit chart and the Bitstamp chart. All right. All right, now we're surpassing the original entry. Why is it not putting the low there? Let me put an alarm on this. Stream Beats by Harris Heller. See, that's a trap too, though, man, because like I've done that before. I've played the Spotify playlist that say like non-copyrighted, but then they always end up copywriting me. There's always like one or two songs within that mix that are copyrighted. The problem is with these types of streams, like unless I catch it like the exact second that it copyrights something, I can't go back and edit out the part that is copyrighted. So it kind of ruins the entire purpose of monetizing live streams. Okay, we'll try Harris Heller. All right, let's try it out. Let me put on the cans. I want to hear how good this music is. Turn that down. But for right now, I am going to activate that conditional order at 53,322, just in case we don't put in a lower low. Actually, no, hold on. Shoot. There we go. It wasn't 53,000. It was 53,581. My bad. Is that a notification at the line? By the way, how do you balance risk to reward and set the percentage of them for a particular point? What do you mean by balance risk to reward? Kite, your buddy is probably in pain. You talking about fish? Yeah, he is in pain. Because he had fleas. We got rid of the fleas. But obviously, even after they're gone, because, you know, he's bitten up and everything, he's chomping his tail to the point where it's raw. Which then he tries to make up for it by chomping on it more. So I got him a inflatable cone. And he's still able to reach his tail. So I'm going back to Petco today once I get my car fixed. Once they call me to pick it up. I'm going to get him a new cone. I'm going to get him one of those thunder jackets. One, for anxiety. Hopefully that'll help. And two, because they're rigid, so he won't be able to reach his tail. And I hate it. Like, trust me, like if someone like prevented me from itching an itch, I would probably shoot that person in the face. But it's got to be done. He's doing more damage to himself than what I feel bad for doing to him. Go to regular candles while this price action works itself out. Alright, so we got the line there. Got the line here. I heard something about 0.5% for stop loss, but what if the price is going up and down for take profit, the percent of the order? But what if the price is going up or down for take profit? I don't quite get what you mean by that. Are you talking about Like either one, you're going to have a set take profit, which can be your 0.441, it can be your 0.5, it can be your 0.382. You got to pick it. I can't pick it for you. And then when it comes to if you're going to let price action just do its thing, you just got to wait for price action to show you where you want to take profit. Wait for an A, wait for a B, wait for a C. And then when we come back below that A, that's when you can take profit on your long. And if you're talking about, oh, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to set up the conditional order for 53,322. So I'm having to do this all over on my other screen here. So I'm just watching it. Looks like we're about to get stopped out of sushi. Ooh, this is running. God damn. Sushi's out. There we go. All right, so let's reassess on sushi. All right, sushi's number to look for is... set up that alarm. All right, I got to maximize this while we do this because I got to do this full screen. Let me pop up sushi. All right, so I got the conditional set on BTC. Let's get the conditional set on sushi since it's already passed. Move that. Here. And then market. Let's see, give me 1 second. Oh, don't do this to me, sushi. Come back down. What are you doing, sushi? 6, 1. All right, so I have to set up 2 orders on sushi right now because this is in a peculiar place. 682. 2. All right, so on sushi, I have a conditional order set up here and here. So whichever one gets hit first, that one will be the one that I go with, and then the other one will get canceled. And then let's check back up on BTC. Let's reactivate this alarm. Go. Now, if I miss that entry on sushi, that is going to suck, but it is what it is. All right, so BTC just got re-entered. And then sushi is about to get re-entered. Still hanging below that line though. All right, so we got everything set up for now. Damn, a little bit hectic there for a second. But we got it. Sushi got triggered now. All right, let me make sure I got stop losses on both of those. Stop loss, we got, boom. Boom. All right, cool. Shut up. 6.82. Cool. On sushi, I got a 0.75% stop loss, and then on BTC, I got a 0.5%. I didn't get stopped again on BTC. You jinxed it. And wait. Now I got stopped again on, damn it. Let's go set that back up. You see? $53,327. 327. Sushi. And a quick little tidbit, guys. If you are in situations like this, one thing you want to do is the prices that you want to get in at, either one, have them well memorized, or two, put them on a sticky note so you can copy paste them. Because that way, like, once I get stopped out, I can just reset up the entries immediately. Gotta re-enter again on sushi. Got re-entered again on BTC. Boom. Just got my re-entries. Usually after getting stopped out and retyping every 5-6 times I've memorized. For conditionals, do you use market or limit orders as price? Or do you explain that in the R&R leverage review? I usually use just what the last price was, aka limit. But on conditionals, are you talking about? No, I use market orders. Limiting when trying to use ABCs does not work. Reason being is because you have to wait for it to get up and then hope it goes back down. $53, 322. Who's in my door? Fish. I didn't see anybody come to the door. Oh, it was the Amazon man. I didn't order anything. I'm telling you, brother. OBV will predict a break of a support before it happens. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Hell yeah, it is. I'm just waiting on the re-entry for BTC. Is there a reason why you like trading sushi often? We haven't really been trading sushi all that often. I mean, during the entire period of time that it was kind of like a choppy situation, we didn't. We didn't trade it all throughout this period. Once we had the opening of the larger ABC structure shown here, that's when I started trading it. We first started taking it from this little blip, and then we took some of the ones down here until we got down to where we're at. Get some of the let's get that lined up. BTC's lined up. I hate that, like I'm on, so this is what I hate about using a 1080p screen. On my 4K, I can use the 1 minute and I could probably see much farther than this. But I can't even use the alert right now just because this bar has already crossed over it once, so I just gotta watch it. Why do I use the log chart? It keeps everything proportionate and scaled to percentage rather than price. Why BTC dropping, bro? I don't know. It just is. You in BTC now? No. We're waiting for it to come back above 53,304 in order to get an entry. Dude, Frank Big Whale. I was about to say something, but I don't want to jinx it. And I know as soon as I say it, it's gonna happen. It's just me thinking about it. It's already doing it. I was gonna say sushi's doing a lot better right now than BTC, but we're about to get stopped down now as well. I'm the market vapor. I'll make the chat a little bit smaller that we can see this. Sushi's still holding. Surprisingly. Like we're in the red. We're in the red. We're not in the green. But oh my god. Pretty close. Look at Sushi's chart right now. Two. I just got stopped at Sushi again. Reset up the 6.802. Man, if we would have caught that 6.651 number, I would still be sitting in profit right now. If I was not medicated right now, I'd probably be losing my mind. But we're good. All right, now we wait for the entries to get hit again. Any of y'all use Bookmap? I used Bookmap in the past, but it makes it too difficult. You're sitting there watching buy and sell walls all day. And yes, I did make a good couple of trades using it, but it's a lot more time that needs to be dedicated to it. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a Coke. He said, sweet, I'll do a line as well. Don't worry, I'm drinking water. Okay, I've downed like 3 propels today. I got my water intake. Fish, lay down. Stop. Stop. Yeah, I started vaping again a long time ago. Back in August. Robert, I'm not stressing getting stopped out. If you don't know my plan, you don't know my plan, that's cool. I'm used to getting stopped out. But I'll humor you. I'll humor you, okay? Just throw it up there. OBV. All right, so this indicator is our magical source to never get stopped out again. Okay. That's enough of that. When are you going to become a big whale? I don't know. Why are you using 1080p again? So one of the things that, I tried learning more about ADHD and what it is and how it works. And one of the common problems is because of the down regulation issues that someone with an ADHD brain has, video games become just not fun anymore. So once I started taking my medication, it's a very low dosage right now. It's 5 milligrams twice a day, very low dose. But even with that very low dose, I found myself having fun again, playing Call of Duty, playing Halo. So I plugged back in my 1080p 240 hertz that I use for gaming, which I haven't used it in forever because I just never wanted to play video games. But now I do. I found it fun again. I had a little bit of fun with the new COD zombies, the one on Black Ops 4, Cold War. I miss classic zombies. I don't know why they keep pushing like the more complicated zombies with, 1,000 different things to do. I just miss loading in, collecting points, getting better weapons, maybe rolling the dice with the box, and just constantly running train after train and train of zombies. I don't need it to be complicated. All right, killing zombies perfectly fine for me. Like Black Ops 2 was probably the epitome of zombies. Like after that, it started to go downhill. Like I get it, like with the DLC maps and stuff, they started coming out with like Easter eggs. We had to do this and this and that. But those are Easter eggs, not the core gameplay. Now you have to choose between a whole bunch of different perks, and it just doesn't work for me anymore. All right. Like I said, I had a little bit of fun with the new one. I get what they're going for. They're so busy trying to make their Warzone success translate to other things that they're not doing a good job on it. I mean, just look at the new Battlefield. They lost 70% of their player count already because it's an empty game. All right, Battlefield 3 just got re-entered again on Sushi. Battlefield 3 was not empty. The maps were big enough to where like you could do things like fly a jet, but there was so much going on no matter where you spawned at that you were always in a fight. Now I have to run like the entire map just to find one person. It's ridiculous. I know. When I watched the Trader Tom video, I was like, is he talking about me? But no, he talks about it. He was like he was basically saying like, I know a guy who plays on smaller time frames. I don't think I play on smaller time frames if you're relating to somebody that plays like long-term CFDs and stuff like that. Hey, what are you doing? What do you need? was basically saying like, you know, if the trade doesn't immediately go his way, he'll take his loss. That's me, dude. Like, I'm not saying that like if you know, these trades I'm getting in now are going to work out, but because I play this play style, this allows me to do things that nobody else will ever be able to do. And I will make way more money than them. But in the moment, they go, oh, you just got stopped out 3 times. Use this one indicator. You're never going to get stopped out again. All right, I'm not playing that game. I'm not afraid to get stopped out. All right, I'm not trying to always take profit when it's in the green. I'm willing to lose some money if at the end of it, I make crazy, ridiculous trades that blow other people's accounts away. Simple as that. Not me hating on you, whoever the guy is that gave me that indicator. I get it. If you want to use that indicator, by all means. But to come into the chat and basically tell me how to do what I do when I've been doing it for a very long time is arrogant. Like I said, I think any indicator or any strategy can be a winning strategy as long as you can prove to me that the mathematics are solid. All right, what's your win ratio? What's your average risk reward ratio takeaway? All right, give me those 2 things. You got a competent strategy. That's awesome. That is what it is. So I give you the same thing. I tell you my strategy has a 15 to 20% win rate, depending on how competent the market's being. And then usually I'm walking away with an 8, 9, 10 risk reward ratio trade. Balance it all out. I'm making money over time. It's an end game. But if nobody, if you guys watched that ABC tutorial yesterday, if nobody has gone and watched the Trader Tom seminar, for the love of God, all right, just like how I tell you guys, read Trading in the Zone. And if you guys are interested in how I trade, read Harmonic Elliott Wave. Trading the seminar by Trader Tom is fantastic. All right. Most of like the trading seminars that you look up online are absolute garbage. They're all telling you how to trade in terms of like this technical analysis, this or that. All right. Trader Tom, he doesn't try to bullshit you with any of that. He just talks about what he's learned in terms of like being a legitimate trader for the past 30 years. Is this like Christmas music? All right. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Just look up Trader Tom. I'm sure if I just look up Trader Tom, it'll pop up. This is okay right here. Trading Psychology event by Tom Hugard. Just start with part 1. Watch the entire thing. All right. A couple months ago, you know, I took some time out and I hopped into the Discord and I live streamed every single part and we kind of talked about it all together. We took the entire day to do that. I recommend you do as well. All right, so now we're entered in again on Sushi and entered again on BTC. Can you check OMG, please? You got an ABC. You can see a downtrend, broke into an uptrend, broke into a downtrend. We put in a lower low. That would have been your entry. Do you see what I'm saying, guys? Do you see what I'm saying? Just every time. I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you. But every time I get someone that asks to check the coin, check their coin, it's always I know you see it. I know you want me to verify that I see it. But I don't think you're dumb. You're not dumb. You are spotting it correctly. All you want me to do is is basically just, I don't know, just say yes. You just want me to say yes. And I get it. I appreciate that you have that kind of outlook on me, but it's the same thing every time. Can I check Luna for you? I typed Lugna. Okay. It's the little things. It's the little things. All right, so okay. All right, Luna. It's in a different situation. I can vibe with that. I can vibe with that. I don't have much to say about Luna. I don't see a really decent break of trend. You can say like right here. You can say this is your A and this is your B, and we're in a C. I don't have much to say about Luna. On the 15-minute, I mean, you can say that that's an ABC top, but this is all one clear uptrend. Yeah, there's not much to do with it. That was crazy. Change of pace. Okay, I know you're a trader. Are there any projects you have in the hodl bag that you believe in the fundamentals of? Not a whole lot. So the two coins that in particular, so basic attention token, good coin. I think it has a promising future. It might be the headway token, and there might be tokens that do things better in the future, but who knows? You know, Brave Browser doing their own thing. You know, pretty good one. But NMR stands for Numer. They are a crypto hedge fund that put people that make bots into gladiator fights. Pretty cool way of looking at it. But basically, in order to compete, you first have to show they have a working bot, and then you have to bet money that your bot is going to win, and then basically you get, you know, a grand prize, and you also get to be the bot for the hedge fund, which obviously you'll collect such and such money off of that. So I'm invested in Numer in hopes that in the future they might make a pivot. So like this is like a speculative, just me thinking outside of the box. All right, so there's a crypto hedge fund, and they're basically finding the best bots in the world. So either one or two things are going to happen. Either one, if you keep up on the names of the people who compete in those, maybe the person that comes in second place, all right, you might be able to contact them and, you know, make a bot. Or two, they take all of the like headway winners, the one, like, you know, the people that didn't necessarily win the entire you know, battle, but did very, very, very well. And maybe they open up like a marketplace where you can use Numair in order to rent bots for such and such period of time for X amount Numair. So I've invested in them for hopefully in the future that's something that they might do. And then XMR, Monero, I put my money where the criminals go. All right. If you would have done that with Bitcoin, look where you would have been now. XMR is the #1 used currency on the dark web. And despite what you might say about that, obviously I don't really support, all of it. But it is a cryptocurrency that is completely private that is being used to buy and sell physical goods. That's originally what BTC was supposed to be. Not a speculative asset where people play leverage on it. But here we are. So I just put some money in it. It's done very well so far. Dude, why would you make that bet? Why would you make that bet, TNS? Then we got stopped at like 3 times on BTC trying to get that entry. Not even close to sticking yet. We're only up like 3%. How much do you lose per trade now? How much risk? So right now between BTC and Sushi, I'm using about 4% risk. And whenever I lose both of those, I'm losing around like 60, 70 bucks. Will you be selling your XMR a week after BTC tops 2, or are you holding it long term? I'll probably be taking profits on some of it, but I've been holding it ever since like $24, $26. So I'm not too eager to just jump out of it. Obviously, I'm going to take profit on some of it, so hopefully I can add additional to that. But most of the time with those types of assets, I am bringing in additional income from trading stuff like BTC, Ethereum, Sushi to add to those positions. So I don't necessarily need to compromise those positions just because I'm trying to make a little bit extra percentages. How much is the account worth now? We were up like to like $1,600, $1,700. Now it's back down to like $1,400. Yeah, $1,400. Because we took that short trade on BTC all the way from the top, and that was like a 40 risk reward ratio trade. That was when the account started off at 1,000. And I regret not using a little bit more risk on that, because I was only using like 1% risk. What leverage do you use now? In the past, I remember you were using 300. Oh, I thought you meant 300 leverage. I was like, I can't even get access to that. With 25x for... So right now on like Sushi, say for example, I'm using 7x leverage, and then on BTC, I'm using 10x leverage. That's just because I'm sacrificing more margin in my portfolio instead of amplifying it with leverage. Yeah, when you took profits for your car, did your bank ask anything about the source of the funds? No. Just because it's not out of the ordinary. Like, I'm not going to say like every single day do I withdraw $30,000, but my account has a lot of money run through it. And I mean, I keep up on my taxes. I pay my taxes. So they're not just like, where the hell did all this money come from? One second you were working at B-dubs, the next second you're, selling $200,000 worth of Bitcoin. They don't, they know. So now your aim is for short? No, I don't play breakout trades like that. I'm only focusing on the longs right now. If I was to short, it would have been from here. All right, but like I said, I'm just trying to find longs and hold on to them. I'm not too concerned about taking these pullbacks. All right, so this was the last ABC top on Bitcoin right there. And then Ethereum, you can call that an ABC top. I probably wouldn't have played that one either. And then Sushi had an ABC top right here. So, I mean, the signs were there for shorts, but it worked out a little bit differently. This could have easily been a 0.382 pullback, found support around here, and then continued on. Is what it is. At the very beginning of the live stream, we talked about that it might go down and put in lower lows. It got a little bit hectic, I will say that, with it bouncing around, but it's part of the game. When you say risk, you mean your margin, correct? No, your risk and your margin are completely separate. Right? So your margin is what you're using to make the trade. So like, let's say $1,000 worth of margin at 7x leverage. All right, that's about $7,000. All right, so you're using $1,000 of your own money, 7x leverage. That's what the exchange is covering, and then your risk is what you're actually willing to lose. All right, so if I lose the trade, I'm not going to lose my margin. All right, I'm not willing to get liquidated here. Sorry for the lame question. When you know when to go for long BTC? Lower low from the line. If you go, yeah. So the way that I play the market personally is I look for downtrends, uptrends, downtrends, and then when we put in a lower low and we come back above the original low, I long. How long do you usually stay in a trade? However long it takes. If I'm playing 0.441s, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a couple days, or it could be overnight. You never know. And don't get caught up on how long a trade takes to work itself out. That's just a recipe for disaster with your emotions. What's my target for the BTC trade? I'll play it by ear. If the market starts showing an ABC top around 75K, I might take profits there. But for all intents and purposes, if we just have a straight shot to 100K, even if we get to 100,000, I don't care. I'm taking profits at 85K. Been playing around trying to create the functions you came up with to make your calculator. I'll give you the formula right now. All right, don't screw me. This is what happened with Flap and Groper. I showed him the formula. All right, I showed him the calculator. I showed him how to use the calculator. I showed him the formula. What did I think was going to happen? Like I knew for a fact that he was going to, he shared originally. He just shared the spreadsheet in the group. I doubt he told them that it came from me. He probably passed it off as his own so it can look cool. I knew he was going to do that, but never in a million years did I think he was going to monetize my calculator. All right. Someone actually asked for this the other day. So this is a very, very, very old strategy. This was back in I'll show you on a chart because I can tell you what time it was by the chart. I made this trading strategy right here. Right here. And this is when, you know, I had the risk reward calculator made. I got my risk side of things handled. And this is when I started to move towards a more if this and that type strategy. It wasn't quite ABCs yet, but you can see I set up my account size. I started with $100. You know, at $100, I'll be using 25% risk. And as the account grew, I would reduce my risk. This is the risk reward formula. Constant stop. All right. So this is what your, say your, like on Bybit. So on Bybit, my constant stop is always 25%. Right. So then 25% divided by my chart stop loss. So if on BTC, I'm using a 0.5%, that means I'll be using 50x leverage, and then 50 times the amount of my portfolio will equal the contracts. That was, I came up with this formula on psychedelics. I don't know. Like it's not a complicated formula. I just took some very simple things I was looking at, but it took that that psychedelic mindset where nothing is really connected and you can see everything for what it is. You can just think of different stuff. And then I pieced together the restored formula. You can see back then, this was how I had my chart set up. I would use the MACD and the RSI, 15-minute time frame for scalping, 6 hour for macro trend. And now I definitely wouldn't use a 6 hour for macro trend anymore. I'd probably use like a 1-2 hour because you can see all the information you need to see on a 1 to 2 hour. And then HA candles. I was using averages at the time, so I had the wicks turned off. Getting a small account off the ground is one of the most time-consuming and stressful, exciting things that you can do in trading. Imagine a snowy day. You go outside and you want to build a snowman. The first thing you do is start packing snow into a ball. And you try to get the ball as big as possible, but at some point you can't pack any more snow onto the ball without it falling off. The best way to build a snowman is to start with a small ball and roll it slowly and let the snow slowly collect onto your snowball. Over the next couple of hours, if done properly and with care, that tiny snowball would be a massive, unmovable by one person ball of snow. Your account is the same thing. Go too fast, break the ball. As simple as that. Find a way to make trading as untime consuming as possible. And like you can see, like I'm talking to myself and it's almost like, it's like my future self was trying to give my past self advice. So like I hadn't come up with the ABC strategy yet, but you can see what I was trying to inch myself closer towards. Make trading as untime consuming as possible. Yes, when we get that lower low and it's hectic for 5 minutes, all right, can you handle that? 5 minutes of some hectic, you know, entering a conditional, waiting for it to get hit. Maybe it sticks, maybe it doesn't. And then after that, you're chilling. You're chilling. You don't have to look at the chart because there's only one level that matters to you. All right. It's untime consuming. And then easiest way to do so is set up a trend line, set up trend line alerts and not pay attention except for when you need to. All right. And I was basically using local lows and local highs to kind of play the market, using more if this and that type strategy. That's all it was. And it developed later on into the ABC strategy after kind of incorporating a little bit of Elliott wave and paying more attention to how trends work. And that snowball analogy quite literally is what happened to me. So like I was probably 11 at the time, and it was snowing outside. It was a pretty good snowstorm. And I went outside and I started with a small ball. And I just rolled it. And like the first couple, like the first hour sucks because the ball is so small that you have to like hunch over and your back is aching. and you're really not seeing much progress. But then eventually, after you're rolling this ball, it's like the size of a basketball. And then now it's all the way up to your knees. And now it's easier to roll the ball, even though it's bigger, because you don't have to constantly bend your back. But then eventually the ball was the size of me. And it was so heavy that I couldn't move it myself. I had to go start knocking on other kids' doors in order to help them come push this ball. At some point, I decided I wasn't going to build a snowman. I was just going to make the biggest ball possible. And we did. We made a ball that did not melt until summer. It was ridiculous. And that, in some way, shape, or form, has affected my mind to treat trading the same way. Now, like with the $100 to $100,000 that we did, I didn't rush that at all. All right, we used the exact same risk that we planned on using. I was ready for it to take months. All right, it only took like 3 months to do that. But that's just because of the advantageous position that Bitcoin put us in at the time. It was as easy as take a breakout trade and your win ratio was 100% pretty much. It was ridiculous. And it just seems like, people want that all the time. I do too. Like, it would be awesome to have, the R&Rs that we have with like an 80% win ratio. That would be absolutely insane. But that's just not the case. Kyle, what portfolio risk do you use? So from the Kelly criterion calculator, we know for a fact that let's see, that 10% is the max that we can use. All right, so 0.5%. So anything over 10%, we're pushing our luck. All right, but under 10%, we still have math on our side. All right, so if we have a 20% win ratio and we're bringing in 8 or above R&R, full Kelly is 10%. Okay, so 4% is half of full Kelly. So I don't recommend using 4%, but when you have a small account that's first starting out, I get it. I understand. You want to see those dollars start rolling in. Nobody wants to break their back rolling the ball for 2 hours. All right. To, use an analogy there. But it kind of has to be done. So you can use a little bit higher risk. Now, I wouldn't say go full Kelly. We never go full Kelly. All right. But you can be a little bit more risky. That is if you understand 100% what you're doing. All right. So your plan is to hold this trade all the way to 60K without taking profits in between? Well, more like 85K. I'm not saying that. If I do see an ABC top that is, pretty substantial, I probably will take my profits in hopes that it's just a smaller pullback, and then hopefully we can compound the account a little bit to make that price action a little bit more worthwhile. But for the most part, yes, I do plan on holding it. Like I said, I have to let price action show me that there is going to be some sort of intermediary stop on that way up. Until then, I just have to assume that there won't be. This music makes me feel like I'm communicating with aliens. What is going on? I thought my car would have been done by now. I feel naked. I feel naked. Not having a car in the driveway doesn't sit right with me. One, it's almost like leaving your kid in the park to play. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen out in the world. You're in danger, my child. And as well as that, like, I don't know. It's just like, what if something was to happen? We have a car in the driveway. Like, my sister has her car. But, I don't know. It's just my own personal vehicle. Just a roller skate everywhere. Just, like, have, like, it's like Batman. He goes into the Batcave and suits up. I just have, like, a shack with, like, an old 80s reflective purple jacket and, like, short shorts with rollerblades. I'll be the worst superhero ever. It's Groovy Man, here to save the day. It's just ridiculous. Kite, David Tech, created an indicator dedicated to Stretchy. I know. Me and him have been talking about it. I do want to make it into a bot. Obviously, I don't have the personal means, so like I'm trying to work out something with him. He's been a supporter of mine for quite a while. I really appreciate him. And just the information he's passed along. See, he does it the right way, all right? You know, anytime that he does anything related to another YouTuber, he spends like the first 5-10 minutes, you know, showing you their channel and talking a little bit about them. He does it the right way. Some other people that we know, you know, steal stuff and don't tell anybody where it came from. I guarantee you that if I was still a shill for Market Cypher using it on live streams and you know, all that stuff, that they would have no problem saying, oh, Kite made this, you know? He's a part of the Market Cypher community. Look at what the type of people that the Market Cypher community has, blah, 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 blah. But no, they don't do that. And I also found out, so like the other day I was on YouTube and I was trying to find one of my videos. So I looked up, leverage calculator. And I found this guy. It was 7 months ago. I found this guy and come on, load. I have good internet. Load. What's going on? Does that look familiar? I think it does. But don't worry. This guy gave me credit, gave a link to my channel, everything like that. I commented, you know, said, thanks for spreading proper information. That's the way you do it. All right. Kite, what do you drive? I drive a Mercedes S-Class. S560. Someone tried to take my VWAP strategy. Good luck with that. I mean, the VWAP strat, like, you can see, like, from when my channel started, every single little thing that I did in some way, shape, or form was like a new iteration and a step closer to what I needed. And like that was the point of the channel to start with. Like I didn't start this channel, you know, telling people like I knew everything about trading. And what I learned along the way, people kept asking to do, you know, one-on-one sessions and stuff. So I did. It was just a, you know, a channel to show what my ideas are. And if you followed me from like the very beginning, and I know there's a couple of people in here that I see all the time that have, you can see how like I would go from this to that to this to that, but you can see how they're related to each other and how they've all kind of ended up to what I believe is the best thing for me at the moment. The VWAP strategy was a step closer to an if this and that statement. Basically, if we are above zero, I can go long. If we're below zero, I can go short. But it was based off of an indicator, so it was very lagging. And the part that was missing is it wasn't if this and that statement, but the stop losses and take profits suffered tremendously because of the fact that it was based off of a, you know, an indicator. Yeah, kite crossing is free. It's kite crossing. What motivates you? To be honest, absolutely nothing. We're just in an endless soup of atoms. Just a RNG, a roll of the dice. Now, don't get me wrong, I think things are beautiful. And because we are just an endless soup of atoms, I am everything, you are everything. It's all interconnected in a way that we can't even imagine. And it's beautiful. And I do think that there is a higher being, but just like how we are everything, it is us. If that makes any sense. Like if I could describe consciousness, it's like a gigantic flowing river, and this temporary configuration of atoms is like a gravitational pull that can temporarily create like a brook or a stream where that water can create like a whirlpool for a hot minute. And then eventually, once this capsule that is containing that quantum information, it has to return to the river. Very crazy talk, I know, but in terms of like what like physical things motivate me, nothing. I think it's meaningless in terms of like everything is inherent of meaning. But through the act of just being conscious yourself, you can attach meaning to things. I don't have a significant other or children yet to motivate me in that terms, but I know I probably will one day. So I want to be the best version of myself when I do get, like, when I get to look at my kid for the first time, I want that kid to be looking back at the best version of me from that point on. I want them to have someone to look up to and trust. That's what motivates me, because that person that's staring back at me is me. And I want them to be a even better version of me than I ever could. Hey Kite, what's up, bro? Did you get in a sushi under $7? No, unfortunately. Actually, yes, I did. I mean, I'm entered at $6.80. Unfortunately, I did not get the $6.65 entry. Very upset about that. It sucks. I know I dropped the ball on that one. It is what it is. It happened very quickly. I was trying to balance BTC and sushi at the same time. Part of the problems of focusing on two different assets at the same time, but I should have focused more on sushi just because that's where most of my risk is at. Are you gonna hit me with the Pokemon theme song after that, man? How you gonna do that? Oh, I didn't even do like a life update today. All right, so what's today? Today's the 7th day I've been on my medication. I do think that I need a little bit higher of a dose, because the only times that I can really feel a definitive difference, like I notice things. Oh, this is probably my car. I have to go pick it up. Hello? Hey, what's going on, man? Awesome. I'll be there to pick it up and awesome. I appreciate it. I'll be there in about 45 minutes to an hour. All right. Thank you very much. Fantastic. My car's done. So I'm going to be leaving here very, very shortly after I say this. Only times I can really feel the medication is the overlap period. So I take 5 milligrams in the morning when I wake up, and I've kind of been testing out when I should take the second dose. I try to take it closer to where I took the first one. That way it doesn't affect my sleep. But the closer I put the two together, the more I can really feel a difference. I took some notes here. Give me 1 second. So first 5 days, games and TV. I can play games longer and have more fun, and I don't lose interest in TV shows. Basically, like whenever I watch TV, I find it really hard to get into stuff. Unless it's like super, super interesting or just really, really funny, I can't really do it, even though the TV show itself might be fantastic. And even shows that I've been watching for a very long time, I'll lose interest in very quickly to the point where like I'll just turn it off after 15 minutes, even though I specifically sat down to watch TV. So I've been having a lot more fun playing games and watching TV. I noticed that I don't have as short of a temper with fish. Like when I'm going to bed, he'll constantly be chewing his tail and stuff like that and whining, even though it's bedtime. I'll be a little bit more patient with him and a little bit more, loving, so to speak. And that's always a problem that I've had, just because I'm not used to having a dog my entire life. So I'm still getting used to it. Filler words. I do it right there because the medicine's starting to wear off. But like I said, so just stuff like that. If you've watched my videos for a very long time, you know I have a significant problem with that. I know in the market cipher tutorial, I said okay after every single sentence, and that probably pissed some people off to no hell. All right. I get it. I understand it. But for me, the way my brain works, if I'm not medicated, that's one of my coping mechanisms. It's how I can space out what I'm going to say and formulate it in a way that comes off related to the next or the last thing. That way people can understand what I'm saying. Otherwise, it's hard to keep up with me and kind of jump train of thought with me. It's ridiculous. So the analogy I like to use is like, now I have like a TSA in my brain. So when I'm formulating answers to questions or statements, I formulate it, I send it to the TSA, and then they can just send it directly out. There's no blah 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 blah. I still probably do it just because it's a habit, but I've noticed that I can pay attention a lot better and not do it, and then able to hold conversations better. I've been going out of the house a lot more than what I'm usually used to, because I have the motivation to do so. I feel great. And I've been getting into random conversations with people that I have no clue who they are. And I'm able to look them in the eyes and talk to them. And I know it sounds very trivial, but it's not something that I can typically do on a daily basis unless I'm having a really good day. So that's some of the things I've noticed. And for anybody that doesn't know, I got diagnosed ADHD on the 26th after not being treated my entire life. And I've noticed a very positive change since being on the medication. I have done tons of research. So if you want to come at me with this or that, I understand a lot about these medications and these things that I have taken. I know more research than the next guy. One, for my own safety. One, how does it affect my brain? I come from a suburban family in the early 2000s. And if you know what that means with prescription medication, you know what I've been through. There's a lot of trauma related around prescription medication, so I'm ultra safe with them. One of the reasons why I have accepted to go on the medication is because I am 22. I have not been treated for ADHD my entire life, and I don't have a developing brain anymore. I might not like necessarily think like an adult yet, but my brain is fully developed. So the damage that can be done with a developing brain related to the fact that it has a constant stream of dopamine from a medication is very dangerous, but I'm kind of over that hump in the road. So I feel like it's safe in that respect, and as long as I don't overdo it. So those are my PSAs revolving around what I'm doing. I've seen a very, very positive change. Someone texted me on Discord, and they've been very kind to let me know what their situation was. And I really, really like the analogy that they gave. He said, the analogy he was given, there are 6 pitchers in the bullpen throwing at the same time and only 2 catchers. The medicine brings in more catchers. So obviously he's relating it to something that he understands. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I have too many thoughts going at one time, but not enough, catchers to organize them and then display them to you guys. My analogy is the TSA. But I appreciate everybody that's reached out and kind of given me their thoughts and opinions. Some people say don't take the medication. Some people say do. And I see reasons for all of the answers. For anybody wondering what this is a Hebrew chant. Okay, so like, this is not spelled correctly at all. All right. But as I listened to it, this is how I wrote it down. If you know what that means, good for you. All right. Chant that in your room while you're all alone. See what happens. That's all I'm saying. One of the good things I do like about starting in ADD medication as an adult is I have the option of taking the instant release medication instead of the extended release medication, because that allows me to make sure that I can get a meal because obviously those type of medications can make it so you don't feel hungry. So when the first pill is wearing off, I can go out to lunch and then take my second pill, and then it will wear off by the time I have to go to sleep. So it's working out so far. All right, guys, I really appreciate you today. Today was hectic, but nope, we're sitting in some decent profit at the moment. We're up 11% on BTC and 13% on sushi. We'll see if those entries stick. I might be on tomorrow or the next day. We'll see how it goes. But I do believe that we're celebrating my nephew's birthday this weekend, so I don't know how active I will be on Sunday in particular, but Saturday should be open. And then on Monday, I'm heading up to Delaware, and I'll be back on the following Wednesday. But I will be with my father, so I'm probably going to be spending a lot more time with him. But once he's here and settled in and we kind of have some chill out time, if the market's, in a peculiar situation, I'll hop on for a little bit, but probably no more than 30 minutes to an hour. But all right, guys, I appreciate you very much. I got to get going and pick up my car. Love to see it. This vape is cookies and cream. So, like I said, once my sister starts wanting to quit vaping, I'm going to go ahead and quit with her as well. This is a pod mesh. I can't really find them down in Richmond where I'm at, but whenever I go up to Fredericksburg, my friend has them at his shop, and these are actually almost a little bit better than Hides, which is hard for me to say because Hides are probably some of the best vapes out there in terms of disposables, Procrastinated Fluff, see you, broski. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Iron Scooby, see you, man. Have the best day ever, Kite. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You too. See you, Kite. Have a good time, bro. You as well. Marcus, see you. Always a pleasure. Yes, it is. Even the bad times where, stuff is going crazy on stream, I still find it enjoyable. I obviously always got one of those bad apples on here that's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. He's freaking out. Rahesh, see, you're gonna have to give me the phonetic pronunciation of your name, because to me, like, being English, I don't know how to pronounce like the th. Is it Prathish? Prathish? I don't know. If that's right, tell me, because I would love to say your name more often, because you're in the chat all the time. I see you every single live stream, so I really do appreciate it. I would love to be able to pronounce your name. Gail, have a nice weekend, Kite. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Firecracker, thank you, bro. Bless up. Threes up, man. Threes up. Iceman, have a good day, Kite. I appreciate you. Enjoy the music. I will be playing this on next live stream. I mean, it wasn't like the craziest. I don't prefer it over carbon based, but if I don't get copyrighted this stream, hey, it's a plus. You guys don't have to listen to the same exact song every 5 seconds. So it's Prathish. Prathish. All right, I'll try my best to say. Okay, Pratish. I don't know, man. You're gonna have to correct it next time. We're working on it next stream. I appreciate it. Mr. Vibes Kite, thank you very much, man. I missed you too. All right, guys. I will see you next time. You guys have great lives, good weekends, and I'll see you probably Monday. No, not Monday. I don't know. Sometime next week. Maybe Saturday, tomorrow. Let's check up on the trade, see how they're going. But all right, guys. Let's do this thing. Bye. Forgot to tell you, I got a Planet Fitness membership. I've been there twice. Did 60 minutes on the treadmill. I'm feeling great. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. I love you. I love you so much. Kisses. I almost sound like Donald Trump there. Okay, goodbye.